way out of hand, way out of hand. Read your thing there, go through it, and you're done. Why you gotta argue all the time about a bunch of kids? I don't understand. You're grown people, I think, aren't you? I assume.
Thank you, Ken.
Public comment.
I'm disabled, I'm not going to the microphone. If you'd like to hand it down to me, I'd be happy to talk into it. Thank you, Charlie. Steve Gray, 3350 Barnett Lane, Bangor Township. I love the 2-minute rule for your supervisor. That's wonderful. For an entire year, I've watched the treasurer and trustee Campbell run their mouths for hours in these meetings just to hear themselves talk. And all of a sudden now we're going to tell the supervisor he only gets 2 minutes. Better be a 2-minute rule for everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Public comment. Public comment. Public comment. New business. Land split, Keith Page. Parent parcel 080-03-4-300-025-22. Keith is trying to get this land split done before he heads back to Florida. He has this parcel sold. I see no deficiencies in this parcel split. Does anybody else have any?
Motion to approve Keith's land split.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
You need a roll call on this.
Should have did that for the clerk.
Okay, so we're going to go to the
2026,
site agreement.
point of order.
No, you know what? that's
2026
ridiculous.
site agreement for Calhoun Township Hall for the Bay County Department of Aging agreement for the Calhoun Township Senior Center.
Make a motion to accept the agreement with Bay County for the senior center.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Whalen.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Eddie. Yes. DeShano.
Yes.
Michigan Pyrotechnics, January 10th, 2026, hall rental.
Okay, they had actually called on the phone about this. This is something that they've been doing for quite some time. However, when they came in last year in January, it was kind of all set up before we got here. And so we just kind of went with what was going on. However, they are a nonprofit, and typically if a nonprofit wants a reduced rate for a weekend rental of the hall, that has to be an action of the board. So I told them that we would put it on the agenda and determine the rental amount, and I would get back with him about it. He ended up sending in the previously approved rental amount along with the money for the fireworks permit and the larger deposit that we do require because of the damage that occurred some years ago. So at this point, what he submitted is only enough to pay $100 to rent the hall for a Saturday. So wanted that before the board so that we were doing our due diligence and make a determination on whether or not we want to charge them $100 or if we want to charge them a differential amount for the use of our hall on a Saturday.
They are the ones that left the whole area a mess.
Yeah, they did
With
send a large
shells
deposit though.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, and they have a little bit of change on their board as well, as far as the officers. So I did talk with a very nice gentleman about that. But we just need to make a determination.
Your deposit will cover it if it's a mess again?
Yeah, the deposit's $1,000, and it's only, that was an action of the board to charge them the larger amount because of the mess that was left before. They pay $50 for the fireworks permit, and I believe that's all square, right? And then they had sent the $100 already on the same check as the fireworks permit. So as of this point, we haven't accepted it until the board makes a decision.
I'd make a motion that, since they did put down a large deposit, we would accept the rental at the reduced rate.
I second.
Okay, roll call vote. Whalen.
Yes.
DeShano.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Campbell.
Yes.
Pay bills.
Just real quickly, do you want me to let them know that there's a procedure each year for us to establish the amount instead of setting it in perpetuity? Because that's kind of what happened before, and I don't know that there was ever an action of the board. I guess, are we gonna do this amount over and over? Does it need to be brought forward each
We're
year
looking
to
at new
establish
dollar
the
amounts
amount?
for the next year, so they need to give us at least a 3-month
Okay.
more notice.
Okay,
Send that in a letter.
I think that's fair, since we accepted it this year. I'll communicate with them that they just need to send us a letter a few months in advance to establish the amount for next year.
Paying bills. Charlie has the amount at $92,233.06.
As I point was made, that bills falls underneath the payroll that will be next week.
No, Rosenbach, yeah.
Yeah, so the invoice for the electrical inspector will get carried to next week, so the bills will be $89,407.96. Those are the ones that are journalized and the ones that have arrived in the mail up to today.
So are you saying the bill for Bill Rosenbach is added to this, or for the next?
It
It will
goes on
go on
payroll.
Monday's payroll, but he submitted it, so it would be in-house if the board had any question over his invoice for electrical services for the electrician department.
I don't know if it's in this, but so I think that there might be a little bit of a problem with approving some of these prior to
Journalizing,
well, prior to any budget amendments. There are a few in here that
so do we need
were
to suspend
questioned.
this and do a couple budget amendments first?
I think that we can probably move forward, but I would probably at this point omit the large bills for legal representation, because that's the one that isn't really properly dealt with yet. And then we can deal with those at the first of the year. So I would omit Fahey and Foster Swift and otherwise accept the changes submitted by trustee Campbell.
So read that motion.
Just a moment, we gotta get the dollar amount proper.
Oh, we're gonna refigure it.
So, Fahey Schultz bill that would be subtracted would be 2,043.
Yes.
So that would be one, Fahey Schultz, and then the other one would be
14,218.
Foster Swift. Yeah, 14,218.
And then before we do you guys want to consider this Broya for the boiler issue that Steve brought in?
And how much is that one?
$124.34.
When I was working here, when I heard water leaking around, there's water everywhere, pushes water on the floor, so.
Yeah.
We got called over right away, and he come down and looked at it, and he had somebody come out right away in the morning, and I put several buckets down to try and starve it, and another guy came in first thing in the morning, and changed out the valve that was leaking everywhere.
That's when you discovered the bugs, right? Have you seen Griffin yet? Because I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
6 bills.
So you subtracted those two and then added this 124.
I'm working on that right now.
Perfect.
$73,146.96 plus add one.
I'm sorry, 73, 196, did you say? 146?
Yours doesn't have the budget amendment on it, does it? You got it from up there, right? So that should have been the newest one?
What?
That should have been the newest one out there, right? It's not on there? Imagine that.
$73,146.96. And then add one.
Hold on, I'm just gonna do it, but
271.30.
Make a motion to approve the bill, adding the leaf bill, minusing the lawyer bills for $73,271.30.
I will second.
Roll call vote, Campbell. That's Whalen,
Yes.
Shano.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Approve Bay County Linwood Road Stormwater Pump Rebuild, 2025-XX of 2025 General Fund after budget amendments.
I didn't see budget amendments to take that into account. Did you figure that out or no?
I did not add that into.
And they said we'd get a storm or a number for the spring too, and we updated it.
And do we need to table this till we figure out where that's gonna come from? Because that's not anything we have in one location.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have to do a multiplier. I think Brad told me, a couple different accounts.
Yeah, I don't know that we're prepared for that just yet.
And they're not prepared to do the spring, but they just
No.
wanna put it on their books.
Right. What is the time frame for them to get the final affirmative from us?
Definitely before April, but
Yeah.
by the next meeting, I think we can get it ironed out.
Yeah.
And
Because that's a pretty big move.
61,000.
Yeah, 61,000 is a lot to find in different areas, so table that until the next meeting. I'll make that motion.
Second,
Roll call vote. Whalen,
yes.
Shano.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Campbell, yes. Request a quote from FSBR Law to have a lawyer at the first meeting of every month.
That's you, mister.
Make a motion to request to get a quote from our lawyer to have someone present at our first meeting of every month.
Seconded.
Roll call vote. DeShano.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Number 7, appoint a clerk.
We had 7 applicants, but I've informed one bowed out. So everybody knows, this is a temporary appointment. Whoever does get appointment will have to run pre-election, which I recommend everybody that doesn't get appointed, please do participate in the election system. And that will be in 6 months that starts. Right.
August primary. Yeah,
Yeah.
August primary, November general.
But you have to register with the county in April, I thought.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that is correct.
So anybody,
And you can pay $100 and you have to get so many signatures.
Yeah. It's a pretty small amount of signatures.
Yeah. But it's an interesting process. Make a motion to appoint Brian Waldy as clerk.
I was right again. Second time.
Roll call vote. DeShano.
Yes.
I didn't have to abstain from that one. No. Campbell.
yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Eddie, absolute no. Okay.
I'm going over to Charlie's
Budget.
grass cutter.
Budget amendments. Point of order. We have to go to budget amendments.
No, I don't have it on mine. That was out in the hallway.
Glad you looked at the accounting, everybody.
Yeah,
His
no,
background is very
it's not on there. Isn't that interesting? This is supposed to be the newest one.
I did look over the suggested budget amendments. A couple of things that are not taken into account are some of the transfers that need to happen. When we had to replace a couple of computers, they were supposed to be taken out of the 2024 budget year. However, they were taken out of the 2025 budget year, and they were both taken off of salary line items, which shouldn't have happened. So there was one for the assessor's office that was taken off of the assessor's salary when it should have been taken off one of his equipment lines. And for the treasurer's computer, that was taken off the deputy treasurer's salary line instead of being taken off of the township board equipment. So those changes would need to be made. In addition to that, for the election budget, which needs to be looked at this point, there were actually several different deductions taken out of the election salary for payment to the deputy clerk for his salary. As such, there were numerous withdrawals out of not only the election salary line, but also off of the election FICA line, the election Medicare line. All of those need to be transferred over to the clerk's office to be properly accounted for, so that we can get a true idea of really everything that should be left on the election account prior to moving forward there. Because there was a little problem with paychecks, wherein if you had a board member that was serving on a board or commission, they were unable to batch it out in one check because of the fact that board members receive retirement. So the problem was purportedly fixed. However, it was discovered that the fix was to create a new GL under the Planning Commission for retirement, which is not a legal GL. And so money has been taken out of that account as well. That should not have been. That transfer needs to go back to the proper retirement account under Township Board. That GL needs to be removed. And then we can work with BS&A to see exactly what needs to be done to repair that issue, or if it has to be done as separate checks going forward. Outside of that, there are a list of other transfers that need to occur. Several of them, actually. So, and a couple of the suggestions you have here, there were no transfer from accounts, and a couple of them do not need transfers because those are being collected in the 2025 taxes, and that money will be put back into the account by the end of the fiscal year. In addition to that, these accounts, because they're set up as special assessments, they actually have what's called a fund balance, which carries over from a previous year to the next year, and there is money in that fund that is not reflected in a budget report to cover the shortfall. We are not supposed to collect more on a special assessment than what it actually costs. We actually need to spend down those fund balances. This is why there were not any changes made to the special assessments for the light districts or for trash or for the weed treatment this year, because we need to spend down those fund balances. Upon talking to the auditor, she also had some concerns specific to the special light district and the street light accounts. She believes that there may have been a mistake made in how one of the bills was paid, which would offset any difference as well. So that is something that I will continue to talk with her about to try to get straight.
That's in the Department 448.
There's actually two different ones for the lights. There's street lights.
But both of them are in deficient?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not. I would have raised them if they were. They're not. They just have to have the proceeds from the taxes that are currently being collected moved into those funds. And that happens at the end of tax collection. In addition to that, in January, there are 3 accounts that are actually billed for lights, which is kind of an interesting setup. But there are 3 specific accounts where they are billed and they send money in after the first of the year to reimburse us for the money that we have paid out for their benefits throughout the calendar year. There's a shortfall in the trustee salary category because of the special meeting pay. There's a shortfall in the treasurer FICA account. There's a shortfall in the deputy treasurer account.
So we're at 76% right now on the trustee salary account.
What is the date on that?
It is beginning of this month.
Okay, well, this one is through the end of this month, so that would
Okay.
take into payroll.
So what's-
They're at 86.4% already. In addition to that, the tax administration postage account, well, every postage account we have has been tapped, and there's no money left. We actually have a bill to pay for the remainder of sending out the tax bills, and there's not enough money in the account because they've all been tapped for the mailings that happened in the past. So there needs to be money put into that postage account too. It's at 99.5% of the budget. There is literally $17.51 left in there, and the bill is certainly more than that.
Can we do any of the amendments moving forward?
Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to do some of the transfers, the expense transfers first, so we actually are dealing with real numbers, because there's a lot of them that need to be fixed, and then that's going to tell us where those accounts truly are when they're actually attributed to the right account. That's what concerns me, because all of these are going to change the numbers.
What can be done that you have written down there?
Honestly, I would love to wait until the first of the year and actually be able to put it in one place and get some of
So
those
you want to
transfers
table the
done.
budget?
I would like to table the amendments until we can get a true picture, and I think there's a lot of things that need to be done. I will have Maynard Costerasan here a couple more times. They're going to start looking at things. They're going to be putting us on track to have the GL cleanup ready to launch at the beginning of the fiscal year. And if we can get these accounts cleaned up before then, which I've already started that process with them a little bit, that would be very helpful. We're going to have some assistants come in for payroll, for the next payroll. They had already reached out to me for that, to make sure. What we did discover was that the payroll system is very, the payroll system is not properly set up. So it is not auto-computing, the taxes are not being properly apportioned, there are some things stuck in the tax system from the non-payment of withholding, so there's a lot of cleanup that we need to do so that we are actually going to get an accurate picture. And that is on deck to start right at the first of the year, along with some tax form changes. And well, it's Adam and his team, he has a whole team, so he has payroll specialists as well as, he's the GL specialist, but yes. And that is part of the approved expense for them.
It sounds similar to what Amy Rodriguez was telling us when she was here, sitting in there, and that's why we were trying to hire Weinlander Fitz. I know Brian's cousin, Kelly, had said that, this process took too long, is Brian's thing to do, but the payroll, it sounds like, has been an issue. It was with Sherry, it was with Kayla.
And many of those can be fixed by a call to BSNA, because there's stuff stuck in that system, but they already know how to fix it. But and I have recommended that on multiple occasions, to call BSNA and have a phone call, because they will go right into the system and they will straighten out what we pay them for. But unfortunately, it didn't happen.
I'm going to make a motion to table the budget amendments and make a point that this could have been, all that we had to do was put some money into helping the clerk in the past, and it was denied. So let's make sure that moving forward, that we don't scrounge to help somebody struggle and laugh at somebody struggling.
Okay, so I'm sorry, your motion is to table the budget amendments, correct?
Damn right.
All right.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of, or is this a roll call vote? Campbell.
Yes.
DeShano.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Public comment, 2 minutes.
Keith Page, 2707 Mackinac Road. First of all, thank you for getting me on the agenda today and passing that land split. Now as president of the Beaver Road Area Water Association, in June, we received a letter from the township attorney, non-binding letter of intent to explore the transfer of the Beaver Road Water Association assets over to the township. We haven't taken any action on that, but we met the other night. We're going to take a look at it if you still have interest in looking at that transfer of assets before we go any farther with our attorney.
I think that'd be great. We are also, Linwood's looking at the same thing as what you are.
Okay, so you have interest. I see heads going up now. That's all I-
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
And drive safe or fly safe.
Public comment.
Ken McConnell, 760 Mackinac Road. I just got a question. You talk about transparency. Everybody can see what's going on. You put a clerk on. How many resumes did you get for that clerk job? 1?
6.
You got 6?
Yes,
You picked up the most qualified person?
I believe so.
You believe so? Okay, so you don't tell us that. Or you tell us one person you picked out. Now we're finding out there was 6 people put in for it.
No, he said that.
And your opinion was qualified, or is it a board opinion?
In my opinion, and I imagine the members that voted
Well, you
yes,
don't, again, tell me that. Is it the board's opinion or your opinion?
it was the board's opinion.
I think it's a
yes.
Or you
family
just said it was your
opinion.
Okay. Just like, see what's going on. You hide a lot of things here.
Yeah,
Now it's coming out.
that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
Ken, appreciate that.
Jeremy Bloom, 2110 Fraser. I find it interesting after listening to this meeting that new business item 6 was approved tonight. For the last couple meetings, we've all heard in the audience and on Facebook that our lawyer bills are through the roof, and all of a sudden now we're going to pay to have a lawyer at every meeting. How's that going to help bring our lawyer fees down?
We were requesting a quote, that's all that was.
That's not going to cost us anything for a quote?
A quote? Nominal. We were just requesting a quote.
Okay.
All about control, Jeremy.
Then I guess with number 7,
You
was
know.
one of the 6 as you stated.
Yes, sir.
Facebook.
My question is, if somebody has a conflict of interest, is that not supposed to be an abstain vote like Mr. Campbell did with the lawn care service?
What exactly conflict of interest are you alleging?
I'm just asking.
Well, when your daughter shows up with her boyfriend and you have 2 parents in the room that are related to both of them in your office, I think that shows.
That's never happened. They showed up and I saw them in the parking lot and then they came in. No, they have never both been in the office at the
Well,
same time.
point of order.
Regardless,
Anyways,
that's not
nepotism.
that is not
Nepotism.
relational at all. So,
Point of
okay,
order.
all right.
We're not supposed to.
Public comment.
Hand me, Mike, if you're with me. Thank you, Tom. Steve Gray, Fraser Township, Barnett Lane. I guess I would like to know, I went on record up in Fraser Township a little over a year ago about us having transparency on the south side of Linwood Road, but not on the north. Well, it's almost looking like maybe Mr. Galis is a little more transparent than we are around here at this hour. I guess I'd like to know why the whole list of applicants for clerk wasn't read. I'd like to know why all those applicants weren't granted an interview. I would assume every one of them is a township resident. They had a right to an interview. Pretty clear when we watched the vote that the cake had been baked before you ever got here. I guess my question probably is to Trustee Campbell, the treasurer, and Trustee Whalen. You had Dennis, you had a liberal Democrat as a supervisor. You didn't like him, he was no good, you drove him nuts, got him out. Then you had Supervisor Sam, very independent man, not a donkey or an elephant. Couldn't stand him, run him out. Now you got Supervisor Eddie, a conservative Republican, who I thought all 4 of you were, and you don't like him either. I guess I'd be curious to know, what are you looking for here?
Thanks, Keith.
Public comment? Public comment. Brad Eddy, 1890 South Huron Road. There's some stuff that has come to my attention. Me and Trustee Whalen exchanged a couple texts yesterday. Trustee Whalen and me got along so good in the beginning, felt like brothers. To be honest with you, we have so much in common that it felt great. To always have somebody to talk to in the beginning. Things changed. During a conversation with Reverend Campbell in my office, he took a phone call from Treasurer DeShano. During that phone call, Treasurer DeShano said, "Are you alone?" Reverend Campbell said, "I am. I'm at home." He was in my office. At that point, Treasurer DeShano said, "I'm going to ruin the bro relationship that Brad and Brian have." And she's done well at it. Same with Trustee Campbell. I told him when he had some ailments and I helped him out to his van. Told him I loved him. And I hoped very well for him that he was going to get healed. When it came down to him in bad shape, he said, "Brad, I'm not at home. My mailboxes are down. It's middle of winter." And me and my son went and put mailboxes up. We didn't look for anything in return. It's about being good people. And sometimes I think that little bit right there is where things change. You know, we've worked Reverend Campbell's garden. Is there any charges? No. It's about being good people. I'm not looking for anything back. When it comes down to other good items, I don't know if I can talk, Mark, about your item, but you did some work for Reverend Campbell also.
2 minutes.
Would you mind talking about that?
Well, he's so concerned about 2 minutes, it's unbelievable.
I being held accountable.
First meeting ever. I don't even want to go in there. It's just disgusting.
It is. It is. I just know you shared with me.
Yep.
You did some work and didn't get paid for it.
He was given a check. What he did with the check was up to him.
Get $2.
He couldn't accept the favor.
$2 for 20 ton of 20
Oh.
ton.
Point of order.
Yeah, point of
Public
order.
comment.
John, Real Monitor Township. Regarding the clerk appointment, is it being appointed typically, I've seen in the past, and this is more information, that when someone's appointed that it goes until that end of the next term. So like typically that clerk would have been elected in the 2024 election and then their term would have ended in 2028. So the appointment you're suggesting, however, needs to go back through next year in 2026?
Correct.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Public comment. Public comment. Public comment. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Merry Christmas, everybody.
What do I need to do? Oh, he's here tomorrow?
He said he'd be here tomorrow because he obviously Christmas falls on his
Okay, I'll be here all day.
He's usually.
Okay,
He might
thanks.
stop